Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I'm super excited to be sharing this video with you today because we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things of all time, travel, and we're going to be talking about how to do it for dirt cheap. If you're watching this video, you probably like travel yourself, and you're likely trying to figure out how to do it for less money, so let's go ahead and jump into the video. Over the past 12 months, and for the second year in a row, I've been able to maintain a fairly extreme travel schedule. I was actually able to go on over 10 vacations this year, and that doesn't include trips back to Minnesota from where I now live in Arizona to see my family and other just kind of routine trips. And what's really crazy is that I was able to save nearly 75% of all of my and my fiance's travel costs. All I needed to be able to do that was a couple of ninja tactics and some of the other stuff I'm going to be sharing with all of you in this video. To give you some idea, I was able to visit the beaches of Punta Cana for a 10-day trip with my fiance where we just completely disconnected, totally checked out, and were able to just really enjoy some of the most pristine beaches I've ever experienced in my life. I was able to take my second annual trip to Vail with my little brother for skiing in the month of January this year. And actually, as I record this video, we're in the midst of booking round 3. And I was even able to do amazing adventures, like I was able to go to the Pacific Coast Highway in Big Sur, California, and ride my gravel bike from Monterey, California, all the way through Big Sur, and check a major thing off of my bucket list that's been there forever. It was the most magical trip ever. I don't say that to brag, I really just want to show you what all is possible with a couple quick tricks. Keep in mind though, to maintain a travel schedule like this, you need to have some sort of work environment that enables it. So if you're curious about starting a business like mine, which is a social media marketing agency that allows me to work from anywhere in the world at any given point, feel free to check out the links in the description down below. I teach a course on how to start, grow, and scale your own social media marketing agency, working with clients that pay you thousands of dollars every month just to help them with their social media. So quick plug, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the topic now. So really the first step, the most important thing that you need to know about travel hacking, or really just any type of economical travel at all, is that step 1 is that you need to be getting the best price. None of the other tactics, none of the miles, none of anything really matters if you're not getting the best price. Most people also don't realize that there's a ton of different places online that you can go to find different prices for trips. You can go direct to the airlines, you can go direct to the hotels, or you can go to places like Expedia, Priceline, Kayak, other areas where you can actually shop packages and see if that might be cheaper as well. No trip's the same, and every single trip I've ever taken really varies in terms of where I was finding the best deal, depending on time of year and promotions that the sites or the direct airlines or hotels might be running themselves. So step 1 is always I figure out where I want to go, and sometimes there's a rigid timeline and sometimes it's a little bit more open-ended, but then I go and I start figuring out where I can find the best price. Oftentimes I'll just go to Google to start my research, and I'll type in some placeholder dates and just kind of see what I'm finding in terms of prices. This can help me just get a general price breakdown between booking directly through the airlines or what the different airlines might cost for the trip, what kind of flights might be available, as well as what the lodging is going to look like for the trip as well. I can also start to get an understanding of the amounts that are more expensive than others, or the time of year that might be better for the trip. All of this research is basically just giving me a good understanding of how to best subsidize my trip with the actual travel hacking tactics. Pro tip is always browse these sites in incognito mode, because you'll find that if you go back to them, the prices tend to vary or jump around, and a lot of that has to do with your browser history. The sites cookie you and they know you're shopping, so they put the prices at a higher price when you come back. So after that quick research, I can usually tell if the trip is something that I'm going to be doing near term or something that I should plan ahead for. I'll also use apps like Hopper or Skyscanner just to see if there's other deals out there or different times of year that the price might drop. These can all be super useful for insights. If you guys would be interested in a video where I go deep on all the apps and websites that I use to save money on travel, let me know in the comments down below, and I might do a deep dive video that talks about those specific tactics. So once all that research is done, then I have a rough understanding of where I'm going to be finding the best price, what the best time of year to be going is, and where I can basically get to that destination for the lowest dollar amount or the lowest points. The second major thing that I use when trying to save money on travel really comes down to what are called credit card rewards. So one thing to keep in mind when it comes to credit card rewards is that it's only really best used when you're beating the credit card companies at their own game. Essentially what this looks like is credit card companies will incentivize you to sign up for their credit card by offering some sort of point bonus or some sort of mileage bonus if it's an airline affiliated credit card. They also have these for hotels as well, but I found that typically points or airlines tend to be the most rewarding cards. Always do your own research, and it might change for your specific situation. All that aside, what I mean by beating the credit card at their own game is that they essentially want to incentivize you to come and use the credit card, hoping that you might have some poor habits and they might make some money off of the interest that they charge you. So I'm a really big stickler when it comes to the credit cards that I have open, that I only spend money through those credit cards that I would have been spending anyways, and I always pay off my balance as soon as it hits the card. This way, the credit card companies make no money off of me, and I enjoy a big point bonus at the beginning, and I enjoy earning points on every purchase that I make. Again, keep in mind, this is all money that I had planned on spending anyways. I just shifted it from my debit card to my credit card. Keep in mind as well, it's really best to do your research on the trips that you want to take first so that you can maximize these points that you use. You really only get a large bonus like this one time when you sign up for a card, and usually there's a couple years after you close the account before you can open another one with that same credit issuer again. So credit card points really come down to a couple different pieces. The first is your sign up sign-up bonus. So to earn your sign-up bonus, usually you'll see something like a 40,000 to a 70,000 mile or point sign-up bonus when you spend a certain dollar amount in the first couple months after opening the account. It's not uncommon to see a 60 or 70,000 point bonus, which would earn you roughly $500 or so worth of travel. The catch is that you need to spend a certain amount of money in the first couple months of opening that credit card. Typically, you'll see something like spend $3,000 in the first 3 months of opening. I do find that for some people, that's a fairly average spending per month. So all you do is take your normal expenses and you move that to the card and you hit the bonus. As soon as you spend that threshold, they issue the points and then you can use those points for travel. The second piece of credit card points is actually the points that you earn from using the card. So this is going to vary by card to card, and it also depends on the type of card that you actually have. So some cards are vendor agnostic. This means that it doesn't matter where you use the card or where you redeem the points. You can redeem them on any airline, you can redeem them in any hotel. Essentially anything that identifies on your statement as travel, you can use the points for. Others are affiliated with an airline or a hotel, and you'll redeem those specific points at that hotel or through that airline. So it really depends on the type of travel that you're planning on doing, or the airline or hotels you plan on staying at, which is the best for you. So my strategy here is quite simple. I'll basically look at what offers are available at the given point in time, and then I'll evaluate which of the credit cards that are available offers the most points for my specific situation. Sometimes it's a specific airline that I plan on traveling on, and they have a ton of points for their specific airline and a threshold for spend that makes sense to me. So I'll open that card, I'll get that bonus, and I'll redeem it for that travel. Other times I want a point card that's a little bit more open-ended that I can use for any type of travel, and I'll open that in advance so I can use that for any trips that I might have coming up. Some cards, like my Delta card, I actually keep open on an ongoing basis just because I fly that airline a lot. I'm always earning points and other bonuses. You can get all sorts of things at the airlines like companion passes, discounts, exclusive prices. It really depends on the card and who issued it. There are a lot of tactics that you can use to actually earn those bonuses as well. And this is not going to be a deep dive masterclass in any of those, but to give you some examples. So let's say, for example, you had a $2,000 threshold that you needed to hit your bonus, and you had a couple of months to hit that. You went and did your math and realized that you only have $1,500 worth of near-term expenses that you plan on doing. This would mean that you have $500 left to spend. What you could do in that situation is you could spend $500 on something like Visa gift cards, hit your spend, and then roll that $500 over to the next month and still get that bonus. Then you'd have that additional $500 in Visa gift cards that you could then use to subsidize more travel or whatever it is that you want to do. So the next piece of travel hacking really comes down to what are called travel or airline rewards. So we just talked about credit cards, and those are through typically a credit card issuer. These are oftentimes through an airline or a hotel chain. So think Sun Country or Delta or Marriott, Hilton. Personally, in the past, my main focus has been on airline rewards, just because, again, when I've done the research myself in the past in my specific situation, I like to have the flexibility when it comes to airlines, and I tend to be much less loyal to the specific hotels that I stay at. Additionally, I try to avoid places like Marriott or Hilton, which tend to be more kind of sterile environments when traveling, and I opt for more boutique hotels, just my personal choice. So oftentimes I don't really have a need for those loyalty programs because I don't really plan on staying at those types of hotels that offer them. That being said, the airline point reward programs can be incredibly lucrative and incredibly beneficial. While credit cards and hotels typically offer you what are called points, airlines typically offer you what are called miles. For the most part, 1 point usually equals the equivalent of 1 mile. There's really 2 ways to earn miles with any airline. The first is by making purchases with the airline that you earn points on. Additionally, there's oftentimes credit cards that are affiliated directly with airlines. In the case of my American Express Delta Airlines card, where every time I use that card, I'm actually also earning a bunch of points. This also contributes to different medallion statuses with Delta, so I actually get upgrades like first class upgrades just to the amount of money that I spend and the amount that I travel. The second way to earn airline reward points is actually by traveling yourself. So when you travel on the airline, you're actually getting miles for the amount of miles that you are traveling with the airline. That's where the whole term of miles originally originated. The more you travel and use their service, the more miles you're racking up, the more miles you're able to redeem for rewards like free travel, free trips, and so on. There's also other perks that you can earn as well, depending on the type of reward program and what they're offering. As an example, with my Delta card, I earn what is called a companion pass every year. This means that through Delta Airlines, when my card renews for my $200 annual fee, I get what's called a companion pass to bring anybody along with me on a future flight, completely free of charge. So most flights that I would go on are far more than $200, so it ends up being a pretty awesome ROI just for having that card year to year. If you think it would be helpful for me to record a future video on the types of cards that I use, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to do a deeper dive on that. So let's recap how all this works. Step 1 is always research. I start by figuring out where I want to go, and then going and doing research on the best time of year and the most feasible dates depending on price. This helps me maximize all of the miles that I'm earning from all my different systems that I have in place to earn points and earn miles. Remember, the cheaper you can get the travel for, the more trips you're going to be able to take. A big contributor to why I've been able to take so many trips in the past year is simply by going at the right time. If I had timed those trips wrong, I may have only been able to take 2 trips last year instead of 10, just because the dates matter so much. After I figure out the cheapest flights and the times that I want to go on the trips, then I figure out out from my research what airlines, hotels, or booking sites I might want to use to get the cheapest price on the trip. I then evaluate what I've got in terms of points and miles on my various credit cards and see if there's any redemption that I can use them for. If not, then I go and figure out if there's another card that's worth opening, and then I go and open that card and earn the reward bonus to book the travel. These strategies, when done correctly and combined together, helps me save tens of thousands of dollars over the past 12 months. It's also enabled me to travel at a frequency that I never thought possible. If you made it this far into the video, why not drop a subscribe? I've got a ton of awesome videos just like this coming up and planned for the next couple weeks. Don't want you to miss out. Additionally, friendly reminder, if you're looking for a business that you can start and run from anywhere in the world like I'm able to with my agency, check out the links down below. I'll link you to my course on how to start, grow, and scale a social media marketing agency just like I run. I hope this has been helpful, and if you guys have any questions on anything, just let me know in the comments down below. I always love engaging with the community and answering any questions that you all have. I'm going to throw a couple videos up on the screen on related topics that you all might find interesting, so go ahead and feel free to check one of those out. Friendly reminder, let me know if you have questions in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.